you have a hummingbird feeder outside your window? I'm glad we have a feeder because this summer a cute little hummingbird came right up there. She'd let me get real close to the window, and I kept thinking she wanted to talk to me while she fed at our feeder. She always came by herself, never anyone with her. So I felt sad because I was sure something had happened to her husband. Every time she came, I kept wishing she'd tell me about the other hummingbirds. What they did when they got wet, how they floated through the air so easily, what they talked about when they were feeding, and maybe even what happened to her husband.
Hi, I'm a hummingbird.
And I'm his missus.
Yes, she certainly is my missus. I love her. And I love dancing around in the air like this.
Isn't he nice? I like to hang around in the air, too.
But we do have two big problems.
Boy, do we ever.
Now please understand that my wife isn't a problem. She takes care of raising our young ones very well indeed.
I'm glad I'm not a problem to you, dear. But it is a good idea to talk to someone about your problems.
Okay. Here goes. First problem is our name. The rest of the hummingbirds make fun of our name, and that hurts. Because we can't help what we're named, any more than you can.
That's true.
And we don't have a neat name like the calliope does. No, sir. Just because we have more tail feathers than other hummers, now please don't laugh, we're called broad-tailed hummingbirds.
You won't laugh at us, will you? Please don't. And please call us BT, will you? It's short for broad-tailed hummer, and it won't hurt so much.
Thanks, guys. But let me show you what our biggest problem is. Yesterday morning, for example, I was getting a quiet snack.
Out of my way, jerk.
That was yesterday morning, and I'm still mad every time I think about that reddish-brown streak zooming down at me. He's our biggest problem, for sure. He's called a rufous hummingbird, and he's mean.
I can believe that.
We all can, Calliope. Good thing I was fast on my wings yesterday, or I might not be sitting here today.
And that isn't the worst of it. It's bad enough that Roof chases the fellows, but he also chases us girls away from the food.
Roof knows how to be mean, all right.
That's right, Calliope. He certainly does. Yesterday afternoon, for instance, I was sitting peacefully in the sun at a feeder, getting the food I needed. It was late in the afternoon. I was tired and hungry, and suddenly this reddish-brown streak flashed down at me.
Eat it, broad tail.
Oh my. That sounds like Roof.
Yes, it's just like Roof. No reason, no warning, just zap. That was yesterday afternoon. And today, I'm still so nervous, I feel like a twitterbug on a hot stove.
I guess everybody's nervous when old Bully Roof's around.
That's so true, Calliope, especially since he hurt Zelda.
Yes, and I certainly feel bad about that one. Poor Zelda. Roof claims he didn't mean to, but he sure did hurt her throat.
He sure did. That's the trouble with being a bully. Sometimes you can really hurt someone. Now Zelda's handicapped for the rest of her life.
Yes, and I don't think Roof learned his lesson. He still chases us and tries to keep us away from our food.
You can say that again. He knows that all of us hummers need a lot of food to keep us going. Nectar and little insects mostly. And that reddish-brown bully sure keeps us from getting the food we need.
He certainly does. And none of us can understand why he does it. There's more than enough food for everybody. It isn't fair.
That's right. It isn't fair. I'm Mrs. Roof, and he even chases me away from the food. Uh-oh.
Missus, stay away from that big feeder. I said stay away. I warned you.
Roof, please don't. Roof?
Now stay away from this feeder.
Well, I can hardly believe what I just saw.
I know. Thank goodness the nice people in this cabin try to help us by putting out extra bottles and feeders. We eat at a lot of different feeders that way, but at least we get a little food in spite of Roof.
That's right. The strange thing is, Roof doesn't look like an ornery rascal. Most people would probably call him handsome, with that reddish brown over most of his body and that flashing red and gold throat.
I am handsome. Look at me, everybody. Watch me strut my stuff.
He struts his stuff all right. He acts like he's the only hummingbird who can do that.
That's right. We can all hover in the air and look at you, or hover while sipping nectar. We can fly backward, sideways, or straight up.
And don't forget the dive bombing. Roof can be sitting at a feeder, nice as you please, then suddenly zoom down and dive bomb another bird, like an angry airplane.
Yes, he's certainly good at dive bombing all right. But let's talk about something pleasant. For example, many people don't know that hummingbirds look different in different lights. BT has a black throat till he bows and the sun hits it. Take another bow, BT. Good. Just one more. Wonderful. Now we need to see his red color closer up. How about scratching your bill, BT?
Why, sure, Cal.
And then flying with me over to the big feeder.
Okay, Cal.
Over here in the bright sun, you can see how the iridescent feathers are arranged on BT's throat. Sometimes they look black, but when he turns so the sun hits them, they change.
That's right, Calliope.
Yes, mighty handy for impressing the ladies. When it's time for the courtship dance and it's up in the air acrobatics.
That beautiful iridescent throat impresses me, all right. And I notice you always make sure that the sun is shining on your throat when you start your first dive.
Of course. But I will admit there's a hummer who has even more red on his throat than I do. Cal here is the smallest bird in the United States, and the only hummer with separated streamers of red on a white throat. It makes me think of circus streamers.
I like circus streamers.
But don't forget, we females have iridescent feathers, too. Our backs are green, so we can blend in with the tree leaves when we're hatching our eggs. But when the sun is shining on our green backs, they're really pretty also.
That's right. Our green feathers have special little prisms in them, too, just like a male's throat feathers do. So when we're in the sun, the prisms catch the light and reflect it in a special color.
I have to admit that your backs are beautiful, all right.
And your throat patterns look nice, too.
Why, thank you, Cal.
You're welcome. And those throat patterns look different in different lights also.
We girls have always thought our throat patterns were neat, and it's nice to hear a gentleman say so, too.
That's true.
We know that our throats aren't as flashy as yours and BT's and Roof's, of course. But the pattern helps to tell some of us females apart.
Yours and mine are very much alike, certainly. But Mrs. Blackchin's pattern is different, and so are many other hummer females.
I know. I sometimes wish we two weren't quite so much alike. We both even have some of the Rufus color that old Roof has.
Yes, it's a good thing we're special friends.
It is a good thing. And I'm glad you don't have Roof's mean streak, along with his Rufus color. I sure wish old Roof would remember I'm a widow and not chase me away from the food all the time.
We all wish he weren't so mean, Mrs. Blackchin.
We certainly do.
But we are glad to have you here. We're sorry about your husband, and we know it isn't easy for you.
No, it certainly isn't easy. And I appreciate the four of you being so nice to me.
And we've never seen a gun around this cabin, ever.
That's good. I sure wish we hadn't gone to the other cabin. Why anybody would want to shoot a beautiful hummingbird like Michael, I'll never understand. Particularly when it's against the law, and especially a young boy with a BB gun. Do you suppose he's a bully? Mad at everybody and taking it out on a poor, defenseless bird?
It could be. Roof's that way, always bullying others weaker than he is, trying to make himself feel important.
I was wondering if maybe that boy was trying to show off and didn't stop to think about who it would hurt.
I like that idea better. If someone didn't stop to think, maybe next time he'll remember to think before he shoots.
Well, maybe.
But if Michael was killed just because somebody was mad at everybody else or was trying to make himself feel important, that would be awfully hard to take.
We can understand that. We're sorry.
We surely are.
But gee whiz, we're forgetting to tell Mrs. Blackchin that she has a very neat throat pattern, too.
That's right.
Well, it's nice of you to say so. It's not as beautiful as my husband's was, and you have to get up close to see it clearly, but
But it is neat. All of you girls have neat patterns. And I'm sorry your throats don't have the iridescence mine does.
How about my throat? See how it gets a special shine in some lights?
And don't forget how it gets a dull black in other lights. Somehow I think the black color fits your conscience better.
A conscience? You aren't going to bring up that old idea, are you? And look who's talking about a black throat.
The other hummers around here would be happier and better off if you did have a conscience, Ruth.
That's true.
And I'd rather have a black throat that surprises everyone by turning brilliant red than have a red throat that disappoints everyone by turning black.
Oh, bah, piffle-de-doo. I'll get you for that.
Watch your language, Ruth. Don't be a bully with your talking, too. Be nice to people. Learn to share.
Now, wait a minute. I do share. I shared with you last week, and you can't deny it either.
You shared just once, Ruth. One measly little time in the whole summer, and you've been bragging about it ever since.
That's right, Ruth.
Oh, nobody gives me any credit for what I do.
Well, it's your own fault. You only shared once, and it was so unusual, I remember every word you said.
Oh, here she goes again.
Yes, sir, it was last Tuesday. You were on the big feeder. I hovered above your head, and this is what we said. I'm hungry, Ruth. Please let me share with you.
Oh, go find some flowers.
But flower nectar is scarce, Ruth. You've been hogging that feeder all morning, and it wouldn't hurt you to let me have a little.
Well, it's against my principles, but, well, all right.
Thank you, Ruth.
That's enough.
You
I
said...
was here first.
You said you'd share.
I will.
Then do it.
Hurry up.
You don't know how to share.
Well, if you just go after flowers, I wouldn't have to share.
That was just like old Ruth, all right. Trying to defend himself for being so mean.
that's right. And I'm with you, Mrs. Ruth. I can hardly believe he shared that one time last Tuesday, if you can call it sharing.
Oh, you girls make me mad. Always sticking up for each other. And you aren't perfect, you know. I've heard you say things you shouldn't.
Now that he's gone, I guess in fairness I'd have to admit that we gals sometimes do let our talking get out of control.
Yes, I'm afraid we do sometimes. And I guess we female birds aren't the only females that do.
As a matter of fact, I heard a couple of female honeybees fighting yesterday. It started when one honeybee wouldn't share a gaillardia flower with another honeybee.
I'm Effie, and I'm mean. I'm Effie. This flower is mine.
Effie!
I'm Effie. What's that?
Effie, it's me, Alice.
What do you want, Alice?
Could I please come over to your flower and share the nectar from it, Effie?
No, Alice.
But yours is the only one left with nectar in it, Effie. And you're collecting pollen, not nectar.
No, Alice. No. This flower is mine, and you're not welcome.
But I only need a little more nectar, Effie. Then I can take my load back to our hive.
Stop. I'm warning you, Alice. One more step and... That's it, get out!
Ow! Ouch! Ouch! But it's the same hive you take your pollen to. Why won't you share?
None of your business. I said get out. And I mean get out. So get.
You're a mean old bully, Effie, hitting me like that. You don't have any right to hit me.
Oh, shut up. Go.
I'm gonna tell the queen bee on you.
So what? See if I care.
My, Effie was a mean old bully, wasn't she? I guess a girl can be almost as bad as a boy like Ruth.
I guess that's true. But in my book, the bully that comes closest to old Ruth is Arnold.
Arnold? Who's that?
Arnold is that beautiful African cheetah over there who can run like the wind.
You wouldn't think an animal like that would try to make himself feel important by being a bully, would you?
No, you wouldn't think so. Especially since he's almost full grown and ought to treat his sister a lot better than he does. Uh-oh, he's gonna start bullying again. Oh, I wish he wouldn't.
Oh, baby, that stupid sis of mine's looking the other way. Now's my chance to sneak up on the sucker. Here I go. Gotcha!
Ow! Stop it, that hurt!
Take that!
Ow! You big bully! Quit picking on me!
I'm just teasing you a little.
No, sir. You pick on me and hurt me all the time, and that's bullying. It isn't fair.
That's right. He does bully her, and it isn't fair.
Of course it isn't fair. Nobody should be bullied the way Sarah Cheetah is.
That's the truth. But fortunately, there are lots of us in this world that are decent and loving.
Thank goodness for that. I sure wish my Ruth would take lessons from Mr. Robin, for instance. Ruth won't help with feeding our young ones, but Mr. Robin brings in food just like Mrs. Robin, and he loves the little ones as much as she does.
Soon, soon, soon he'll be back. Don't wiggle so much, Junior. Daddy will be back very soon. Just be patient. You know that Daddy always looks real hard for your food, then brings it right back to our tree where we can peek through the leaves at him. So be patient. Maybe that's him now. Is that you, dear?
Yes, I finally found a grub worm for Junior.
I hear my daddy.
Yes, that's your daddy, Junior. Wonderful, dear. Those grubs are hard to dig out. As soon as you rub some of the dirt off your bill, I'll go try for a grasshopper.
Fine. I'll feed Junior and stay till you get back.
Good. I'll appreciate that. Just be patient, Junior. Just be patient.
Hi, kids. Junior's turn this time. Attaboy, Junior. You did that real well. And I'm proud of my little girl, too. Mother'll be right back with something for you.
My, Mr. Robin is a fine example, all right. And my nomination for a loving young girl is Ginny Giraffe. She treats her father and her mother just the way she wants to be treated. And they can't help being nice to her.
Hi, Dad. How's my 17-foot-high father today?
I'm tip-top, Ginny. Thanks. You look good, too.
Thanks, Dad. Mom, any better?
I think so. She's still lying down, though, and could use some attention.
Okay, sure. Hi, Mom. Feeling better today, Mom?
Yes, I am, Ginny. Thank you.
I'm glad you are, Mom, because I love you.
Thank you, Ginny. You're a good daughter. And I love you, too. Whoops, that tickles.
Sorry, Mom. Didn't mean to tickle you.
Don't stop. I like it. That feels good. That feels wonderful. Thank you, Ginny.
Yes, thank you, Ginny. We certainly appreciate your being nice to your mother.
You're both very welcome. I like to help Mom feel better.
Oh, my. I wish I had a daughter that talked to me like that.
I do, too. Makes me tingle all over just to hear such nice words.
Me too. I'd faint dead away if Ruth ever said anything like that.
Like what? What are you talking about?
Oh, you wouldn't understand, Ruth. It's a secret that Mr. Robin and Jenny Giraffe have.
A secret? How could Mr. Robin and Jenny Giraffe have a secret and I wouldn't know it? Am I missing something?